All right, what's going on, you guys? I wanted to introduce you to a special friend of mine. We've been able to work together on a couple projects. This is someone who is a six-figure entrepreneur and also a seven-figure crypto investor as well. So today, I just wanted to ask a few questions, have a real genuine conversation, and pick his brain today. So I want to introduce to you guys Cam Desani. So it's good to have you on board, man, and I'm looking forward to this conversation.
Absolutely, man. Great intro, Eric. It's been a pleasure getting to know you and work with you in different ways over the past over a year now, right?
Yeah.
February, I think. Yeah, last February of 2024. And guys, I want to say something real quick. That was a great intro for a number of reasons, but he said six-figure entrepreneur and seven-figure crypto investor. And you hear a lot of people on the internet say, "Oh yeah, I have an eight-figure company," or "I do eight figures a year." You need to understand that people aren't getting specific because they don't want you to know the truth. And I'm here to get very specific and show almost so much social proof that you're like almost maybe put off by it. There's a reason I post pictures with 200,000 physical cash. I go to the bank and get it for you because anybody can make a screenshot, but I'm really trying to show you what time it is and where the truth is at. With that said, the reason I say six figure, or Eric said six figure crypto investor, or I'm sorry, six figure entrepreneur and seven figure crypto investor is because my business and me do multiple six figures a year in profit, not revenue. But in crypto, I have made seven figures in profit. The skill of investing to make seven figures and building a six figure business and making six figures, multiple six figures a year annually, those are different skills. So I don't want you to think I'm a seven figure like entrepreneur with a big business. I've just done very strategic investments over the past 6 years in crypto that have really paid off. At the same time, I built my business up to a pretty big scale too, but it's by no means seven figures in terms of the business income. So just wanted to throw that out there, guys. I'm here to be transparent. And yeah, Eric, I look forward to this too.
Yeah, same here. So to even get to that point to where you were able to even invest in a business or even get your crypto portfolio started, like what did you do? Did you get a loan? Did you start off in a particular career? What exactly did you do to position yourself to be able to get to where you're at right now?
Yeah. So I think there's definitely an order of operations that people need to think about when they make the decisions for their life, right? So you reminded me when you said this. I'm working with a guy right now who he's about to get his degree in college. He's 5K in student debt, which doesn't really matter. But why it does matter, even though the number is low, is the fact that he can't get a loan. He can't get a credit card because he's still paying off student loans, meaning the government will finesse him for a student loan, but now he's unqualified for credit, even though he's paying the loan off. So we've applied for like a bunch of financing so he could come into my program and I could help him get a sales job and train him in sales and help him make money. Even though he has a 606 credit score, it's not that he has bad payments history, it's that he just doesn't have any history at all.
Mm-hmm.
You asked if I got a loan, and that brought that to my mind. Um, my order of operations was this. If you don't have credit history, this isn't even something that I like is a program of mine. This is just something that people need to know. If you are 18 years old or 30 or older or in between, you need to build your credit. This is the easiest way to do that and how I'm helping this guy that cannot get financing for my program. Because keep in mind, he can't also afford me because he's a college student. He doesn't have a job yet. So I'm trying to make this creative for him so it works. Number one, understand that I can help you build your credit simply by financing my program. People don't even understand this. Even if you can't afford the monthly payments, which you can, because I can get it down to like $100 a month or even $76 a month. I got someone for yesterday, right? Paying that payment builds your credit, even if you can't get approved for a credit card. So that's what I'm about to do with this guy. If the
Wow.
bank
Okay.
gives you money, I will. I will give you credit. So you can start there. You can make investments in yourself. Now, what are those investments that you should be making in yourself? You said, how did you get the money to build a business and do crypto? Sales, brother. Go work for someone else and sell for their brand or their company there's two industries that I like to take people down the path of that I have experience making multiple six figures in. Technology sales is one, okay? Online consulting sales is two. I teach people how to get into these industries and also introduce them to the hiring managers that I know that are looking for trained salespeople that go through my training program. And these people get hired quickly. And then I work with them until they make 10 grand a month. Once they're making 10 grand a month, if you want to continue to work with me, there's an ascension program to start making more, because the gap between 10K a month and 40K a month is not as much about skill, but more about connections and getting into the right companies.
Right.
Then I took all that money that I was making in sales, working for other people, started investing in crypto simultaneously. And honestly, it's not like I waited a lot of time. I started making money month one, not on month one that I started, but I'm saying when I started making money, I was already taking a little bit and putting it into crypto. How did I know to do that? Because my sales manager was a crypto nerd. So once again, the power of connections coming into play in 2018, 2019, when nobody gave a fuck. And I've been putting money into Bitcoin and Ethereum and Solana for 6 years, you guys, right? So you can do the math on how that's accumulated, right? And on top of that, I've connected with people that wanted their coins built. They needed engineering teams. And because of my network in tech, I put those engineering teams together and took equity in those projects as a result. So just showing how your network really can become your network. A lot of those coins have done very well. And now we're continuing to invest in people's projects. And that's what we do in our group. We help people get involved in these exclusive crypto assets that we actually know the founders so they can make ridiculous amounts of money. Or you can just go on Coinbase and blindly throw your money at meme coins and see what happens.
Yeah, I tried that and it wasn't too successful. I think you said a lot of good key points there that I kind of just want to re-elaborate on. You said something big on connections, and me personally, I went the normal route, right? I went to school, got a degree in technology, but even then, it was still very difficult for me to land a job. So the simple fact that you are offering a bridge for someone to get in very quick and very early is a good thing. Because I remember I had applied, and keep in mind I had an internship already and I had projects to show like what I've done since I've been in school. So I felt like I had a good enough resume, and it was enough to get me all the interviews, but I didn't get a job for about a year, to be honest. I graduated in 2016. I didn't get my first job until 2017, and that was because I was also in a technology and engineering organization, and they have a conference where they have these hiring managers that are explicitly there to hire talent from that particular organization, because they know what what the organization values. They know what type of people that they're getting and so forth. So that was a connection because I was a member of a particular organization, what got me my first job. And it's good to see that, you're able to bridge that gap early so people don't have to go through that, because it can definitely be demotivating when you should be able to get certain jobs, and yet you're getting rejection letter after rejection letter after rejection letter. So I think it's really cool that you're able to bridge that gap for people early on that wants to get into the technology space.
Absolutely. And look at, guys, I want you to pay attention to what Eric just said. He has a technology degree, meaning he doesn't have a bullshit sociology degree like I do. That doesn't it doesn't qualify you for any job unless you get a master's in social work and go down that path. And even if you do, most likely you're still going to be poor and in debt because you went and got a master's degree, right? So he has a real technology. What's your degree actually in?
IT.
IT. So he has an IT degree, very respectable field. Took him a year to build the connections to then finally get a job after college. So college is an investment that I'm not saying college is a scam, and I probably have said that in the past, but it's important to define what a scam is. I think it is extremely overpriced. I don't think it is a scam per se, because they're giving you what they're telling you they're giving you, but what they're giving you isn't really that much, because they don't teach you about building credit. They don't help you get student credit cards or encourage that, or I did all that stuff on my own because I had people around me that were telling me to get credit when I was 18, right? So by the time I finished college, I had a 750 credit score, and I could do a lot of things with that, short version. The point is, what should they be teaching you in college, or what should you be learning while you're in college that they will never teach you in college for eternity? Credit, sales, actual business. Do you want to know the best way to learn business? Go work for a business. Why? Look, I'm not saying Scott Galloway is an amazing business professor. Why? Because he's done 50 million in business. Most college professors ain't doing that, bro. That's why there are talkers, that's why there are lecturers, but they don't have experience. My aunt always says this line to me. She's like, "You didn't get an MBA, but you built a business, and that's the best business experience you could ever have." Right? There are MBAs on LinkedIn right now DMing me asking for a job. That means you got a graduate degree, an MBA, extra school, and got nothing. You're unemployed. I have a girl with a chemical engineering degree from UC Davis in my DMs, hesitant about working with me. One of the very few people that are actually hesitant. I'm like, you paid maybe 6 figures for a chemical engineering degree and are in extreme student debt and are unemployed. You got ripped the fuck off. I'm going to get you a job in 90 days or less and I said 90 days for her, and that's actually long. She just doesn't have any like sales ability. She's an engineer. She's very I need to teach her the game, right?
Hmm.
But bro, somebody like with decent conversational skills like your brother, right? That came into my program. He started 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, I think at this point.
Yeah.
He'll have a job by mid-April. He'll be making 5K a month by mid-May. Like, but people don't understand where to put their time and energy and what is worth it and what is not, because they don't have the ability to analyze things and make their own decisions.
I think it also boils down to just the norm that we've been programmed for a very long time that the correct way of going about doing things is going to school and getting a degree, not utilizing actual connections, not learning online, for example. Now online is like the number one place that people are going to learn. So some people are understanding that, hey, I don't have to go to school. I can do there are other ways around it where I don't have to put myself in debt. And then you have people that are very, very traditional minded. They feel like that is the way to go. And as you can see, things are changing. I think even Elon Musk said like you don't even need a degree right now. Show me your code. So basically, if you have the skill set now and it's in high demand, you don't even have to go to school for real to be able to get a job. Now, getting in the door, like you said, is like the number one thing. And with the connections that you have, that person already have an edge with actually getting that job through a mutual connection. So I would say that's where I see things as far as what I've seen in tech space. There have been people I work with currently that don't even have a degree. They're just very good at what they do.
Yeah, yeah. And you remind me of a conversation I had with he. I don't know if I can say. I don't want to say his title because he's like under NDA with me.
Yeah.
So he's very basically a high up engineering director at a Fortune 500 company,
Okay.
and I work with him on dating and social life stuff.
Hmm.
And we went to dinner because we live in the same area in the Bay Area, and he was like, "Cam, Chat GPT does most of my work." I said, "Interesting. Tell me more." He told me a bunch of engineering stuff that I didn't, that's not really my space to talk on. But he basically was just like, dude, like, college is going to be obsolete by the time you have kids. And by obsolete, it doesn't mean that the schools aren't going to be here. They're going to be here. But the ROI on a university investment and look, there's a lot of other things that college is good for besides just school, like talking to people, networking, living with other people, doing your own laundry, whatever, like, right? But it's not worth what they're charging for the most part. So for me, I've always told my kids, I'm sorry, I don't have kids now. I always plan on telling my kids, I mean, I've been recording all day, bro. Sorry.
Now you good. You good.
Um, I've, I've, I've told my girl this about our kids. I'm like, unless they get a full ride or a decent enough scholarship where the ROI makes sense. I'm a businessman, so I'm not here to get finessed, right? they got to go to junior college for the first 2 years and then get a full scholarship. And it's very easy, not very easy, but it's easier to do that out of JC because you've already proven yourself in junior college. And then they can go for junior and senior. Now,
That's exactly what I did too. I went to a junior college for 2 years.
I didn't know that. I didn't know
Yeah.
that. So there you go. But ideally, I would like them to experience 18-year-old freshman life in a 4-year college, ideally. But my girl's an NBA dancer, so hopefully, our kids are athletic as shit, and they get sports scholarships to some
Yeah.
degree. Um,
So,
Go ahead.
so
Yeah.
I was about to say, so I'll tell you for me, college taught me how to really be an adult. That's where really I just started to get introduced to, paying my own bills and showing up to class on time, and all of those things actually teaching me how to be a mature adult. So I say that's the first thing college taught me. The second thing it taught me was how to talk to people and how to network, like you said. And just being completely honest, when you talk about the classes, I would say maybe like 20 to 30% of what I've learned is what I actually been able to apply. I would say probably my senior year, because when you get to your senior year in the tech space or engineering space, you're working literally on a project the whole semester. So that's how it was for me. We was actually building an actual application. So for the most part, you're only using a small fraction of what you actually learned when you actually go out there and get a job. And when I actually got my first job, I'm thinking that I'm going to be put in a position where I'm using everything that I learned in college, and that's not the case. I had to learn something completely different than what I've learned in college. And I was just like, man, like, I was blessed to be able to have most of my college paid for, but at the same time, it made me really question, is this the best route going forward?
Exactly. And it's funny that you say that 20% of what you use actually matters and then the rest doesn't. Bro, when I took accounting, it didn't even teach me how to do my own taxes. So, like, what's the point? So I can do accounting for another company? Sure, that makes sense if you want to be an accounting major. But what about our lives? Like you said, teaching you how to be an adult, right? What did I learn? I learned how to drink responsibly. I think that matters, right? I think that does matter. And if you're around good people, I remember my first, literally my second day in college, I went to UC Santa Cruz, so we had like a beach boardwalk little party, and I was with all the basketball players. We all lived together. And I was in one of their spots, and I had never drank before, bro. I'd never drank before in high school. And they gave me a water bottle with just some vodka, like a little bit. They're like, look, just sip on it, bro. No pressure. We're here to keep you safe. And that's a good experience. I made out with a girl that night, right? It
Yeah.
was my first like college makeout ever.
Yeah.
First makeout ever, to be honest, I think. So and she was bad. So I was like, bro, drinking can amplify things, and anybody like that's out there that's like, oh well, you should learn to do it sober. You should. No one's saying you shouldn't. I'm just saying as a shy 18-year-old who just got to college, was around a bunch of macho basketball players that were super cool and already getting girls, they took care of me, bro. And you can't get that experience at 18 in many other environments. You just can't. Yeah, so learning how to be an adult, doing laundry, like I said, eating on your own, paying your own bills, right? Working a job while going to school, managing your
Hmm.
time. Um, yeah, bro. And like that's why people pay to go to graduate school a lot of the times. They're like, oh, I want to go get an MBA. But yeah, well, you got your MBA online. So like, who did you meet, right? Like, there's better ways to spend your money for online networking. I have an online networking group. My entire ecosystem is a network of people that can hire you, people that can train you in different things, and people that can make your life better. But like, if you get an MBA from Southern New Hampshire University online, who are those people, right? And on the flip side, if you get a Stanford MBA, yeah, you just paid $250,000 or whatever it costs. Did you get that ROI? Are you ever going to? Or are you going to just like go do something else with people that aren't part of that Stanford program that you can like build a company with or do whatever you want to do?
Right.
It's all about what you
Um,
do.
and you talked about something else that I also wanted to bring to everyone's attention too. You talked about Chat GBT. You said your friend said that it does most of his job, and I want to just kind of talk about the things that I've been hearing in the tech space. AI is starting to get to the point where almost every company is going to be using it, and it's really to the point that me growing up, I heard that, hey, you get a job in the tech space, you get a job in engineering, you get a job in this, and your job will be completely safe. Like you wouldn't have to worry about anything. Well, times have changed into the point where AI can write a whole algorithm for you very, very quickly. So now it's really gotten down to the point that I've heard people say, even from the software engineering standpoint, that these AI systems like ChatGPT will be able to write the code, and all the software engineers will have to do is validate the code and make sure it runs and works correctly. So basically, AI is taking over, and unless you're able to adapt and learn more about AI, how to use it to set yourself apart from everyone else, I say that everyone's jobs can be at risk, because now it's to the point where AI can just about do anything, and it can adjust, adapt, it can learn new things, and it can do it on the fly. So I just want to say that to say everyone at this point needs to be looking into how they can utilize AI in their field and how they can separate themselves from the pack.
I love that you said that. And what that brings to my mind is this: the smartest, most skilled humans understand that AI is an asset, not a replacement, right? So for me, even on a very simple level, I have ChatGPT analyze my content and give me new ideas.
Okay.
Okay. So I
Nice.
already have good ideas. That means I can give that to ChatGPT and now have better ideas. So also understand, you'll hear like Ty Lopez, for example, he's been running an ad recently, and he says, the new wave is AI, you should start an AI automation business. He's not wrong. Or just go work for one and make $250,000 a year. It's way easier, right? And people, I'm not saying you shouldn't have big dreams, but understand that entrepreneurship is a gift, but it can also be the thing that kills you, okay? Because if you don't understand how hard it is and that's why we talked in the beginning, right? I'm not a 7-figure entrepreneur. I'm not. It's very hard to be that. So these guys that say I make $100K a month online, boom, boom, show me the bread, babe. Show me the bread. Show me the fucking cash. Only I'm posting the bread. Show me the bread. You can't. You sit in your Miami fucking penthouse with a nice view, but I think you share it with 6 people. I'm just trying
Yeah.
to see what's up, right? So my point is, you can build an AI automation agency, understand that is the wave. Ty is right. But you can go be a sales rep for one and work pretty limited hours, sell premium products or services that people need, and make a ton of money. And that's part of what I do, is I help people get jobs like that.
Yeah. And I mean, when you put yourself in a position, you're also learning how these companies are looking to utilize what you're selling. So it's giving you that foundational knowledge for if you want to do something in the future, you can, versus just going out here and banging your head against the wall and hoping you find the answer. Because that's what I used to do. I didn't really have that much guy. I had one mentor that actually changed the game for me. He got me from 60K to like 120, 130K, and that's just because I was willing to invest in myself. But before then, I was banging my head against the wall trying to figure out how do I even level up, even in the tech space. So even though Ty Lopez is giving you some important information, that doesn't mean that you can do it on your own. You need some guidance and you need some help with someone who's not only successful but has your best interests to get you where you need to go, because just trying to figure it out for yourself is going to cause a lot of headaches, a lot of pains, and it's just something that if I would recommend you not go through if you have someone like yourself or anyone else that is willing to take you, hold your hand and get you to where you need to be.
And someone did it for me, right? Like in
Yeah.
different ways. So people don't understand that like knowledge, information, and guidance is constantly being passed down, whether it's to your kids or to peers, right? I gave you a ton of game. You give me game back. You're going to give the next person game. You brought your brother to me,
Right.
right? So it's like, it's all about the network, guys, and understanding that when I was learning what I was learning at 22 or even at 18 in college, right? I learned from the people that were where I wanted to be. I learned how to talk to girls originally, bro, from the 3 people on the basketball team that got the girls that rejected me. And
Mm.
I put my pride to the fucking side and said, what the fuck are you guys doing? And they're like, they were natural, bro, so they really couldn't explain it. But I was like, can I just like hang out with you guys more? Like, I don't really give a fuck. And when you're honest, bro, like that, people won't diss you, bro. They may talk shit behind your back, which I knew they did. They would probably clown me, but I was still there. I was
Yeah.
still in the game. And guess what? Eventually, after graduation, when I was like, they saw me leveling up in different ways, right? They were like, damn, he actually is fucking batter bitches now, for lack of a better term. Sorry, YouTube, demonetize me. But he was basically like they were seeing me do better in life in the dating and relationships game. They saw me get a really good job out of college in tech. My first job, I made 120K. Why? Connections and skills. How did I get good at sales? I had a really good manager I just told you about earlier that taught me crypto, but he also taught me sales. I also had another mentor who's still my sales mentor to this day, who makes $1 million a year working for somebody else. Profit.
Wow, that's crazy. I might need to get. Hey, I might need to get in sales, man. I never even really liked being a salesperson, but I realized when you have a product that is out there to really help people, which you said is in the tech space, people need technology. It doesn't even feel like sales for real. It feels like you're just there to consult and help them get the best product that they need to expand and grow their business. It's different than selling other stuff. You know what I mean?
Bro, this wasn't even planned, guys. This was not planned. Like none of this, all of this is organic. We have no script, right?
No script.
What Eric just said, bro. Eric, for real, bro. Listen, you're in IT. You already have technical aptitude. Do you know how easy, and you have good conversation because we worked on a lot of shit that we worked on.
Right.
You would rip in tech sales, bro. You would rip. My boy is in IT, like you. He has about 6 years of experience, but he has a stutter a little bit. He's very slow when he talks and not in a good way. It's good to speak slow, but he's not good. His is not good. You speak well and you know technology, you would crush. We can talk about that offline or now. It's up to you.
Yeah, we could talk about it offline, bro. Cause I mean, it comes down to a point. Cause like I said, I've done everything. I've done software development. I've done QA testing. But recently, for the past couple of years, I've been in project management. And what I started to realize is that the since AI is coming into play, AI is now managing projects too. It's catching everything. So now I'm at a point to where if I don't need to do if I don't switch over to something technical, or like you said, something where your income isn't really capped out, like sales, then it's really to a point where I feel like I've been stuck. So and I just kind of be quite transparent with y'all. Y'all know how it feels to feel like you're stuck. You've been in a certain position, you're looking to grow, but you can't. But and you're busting your ass and doing your best, but you're not going anywhere, and it's not your fault. You're doing everything you're supposed to do. I come to work and do the best that I can do every day and give it everything that I have. But also me coming to a realization that project management is also getting to a point where AI and other tools is doing that for me. So if you're not the person that's actually building out these projects, it's now become to the point where they're not willing to give you the bonuses. They're not willing to give you the raises. And that's what I realized. I'm like, project management people haven't really been getting raises, even though they do play an important role. The engineers have, the people that created tools that made the company millions of dollars have. You get what I'm saying? And so that's kind of like where I've been at, and now I'm at a point where I'm exploring my options in different areas so I can grow myself.
100, bro, 100%. And you said something there that really hit it on the head where you said, hey guys, if you're stuck, it's not your fault. And I want to put a caveat on that. It's not your fault unless you don't try to make changes, right? And what I've found for the, 5 years that I've been a coach, right? In different ways, what I've found is that, and you see my tone drop because this actually brings me pain to
Yeah.
say, but the people that need the most help typically don't get it. The people that have already seen momentum through getting help from others understand what getting help from others can do. So I'll give you an example. I talked to a guy who actually came through a referral.
Okay.
Very similar to you, how you gave me your brother. He's in his late 30s, early 40s, has a kid, has a wife, has a mortgage, and has basically been in a very shitty job for the last 3 years, ever since he got laid off from his better job 3 years ago. I don't want to give too much information because then he's going to think it's about him. And I haven't gotten his permission to talk about it.
Yeah.
He's thinking about it. Meaning he's thinking about letting me help him get a 6-figure sales job. I said,
Wow. Okay.
you need, and I even told him, I'm like, listen, bro, I almost said his name. If I say his name, editor, bleep the shit out, okay? I said, listen, bro, you need more help than most of the people that I work with. And you're still being hesitant, and that is why you are where you are. Because you're overthinking this decision. It's not that big of a decision to make. Most people don't need time to make a decision, they need information. Even us, when we met, you made your decision on the first call.
Mm-hmm.
But you, for the record, guys, he didn't pay me until call 2 because of an actual logistical reason, because he was moving to a new place and he needed to put his security deposit down and so on and so forth, and there was a reason, right? Then he came back, we started the process. Am I lying?
That's the 100% true.
So this guy is further behind, quote unquote, and I say that relatively, meaning for his own life, meaning if you don't make 6 figures, you have a wife, a kid, and a mortgage, and you're 40, but you're still considering getting help, you're not sure, and I'm, for lack of better terms, arrogantly, guys, I'm going to say this because it's good for the content, I'm better at life than you. You're here because you want help from me, because your friend told you to come to me. You're still thinking about it. And you said it's not financial. Okay? And it's not. Because I'm not charging that much. And I offer financing. We talked about the credit already. I offered you a $73 a month payment plan, and you still had to think about it. I said, so the people that, go ahead.
I was just gonna say the risk to reward to that is absolutely insane, because it's just like if you really think about it, if you're getting people 6-figure jobs and all they're paying is $70 a month, then by the time it's even to the point where you've paid that off, you already made enough money to pay the whole thing back. Like
I told him this. And guess what, bro? What's funny is on Monday we have our follow-up call.
Okay.
He's probably either not going to show or he's going to I even told him, bro, so we talked on Wednesday. This is very recent. We talked on Wednesday. We were supposed to have the check-in Friday after he thinks about it. He texted me on Friday saying, Cam, just got pulled into a meeting. Let's push to Monday. I said, cool, man. Do you have a decision? No response. That means he's still thinking about it. Okay? And if he's too busy to respond to me, the person that's willing to put the time for him, despite being everything that I've said I am, right? Much more successful than him. Not hating, just saying, don't act like you're too busy for me. And if you are, you're too busy for the wrong reasons. Because I'm here to fucking change your life. Respectfully. Okay? So don't sit here and act like I can't do it, because I'm doing it right now. I work in tech sales and make top 1% income in the country. In global, if you really want to do the fucking math. How? Connections, skills. That's it. I give you the things that I have. That's it.
And you know, part of the reason why I think sometimes people do be scared to make the jump is because not because they don't want to. It's just because I think because with so much stuff that goes on in the world, a lot of times people find it hard to trust people. They think that, oh, I'm gonna sign up or give this person this money and they're gonna do something behind my back and I'm gonna lose my money and I'm gonna get screwed over. I think that the fear of people getting screwed over is one of the main reasons why I think a lot of people back away from opportunities knowing that they need it. But I mean, you have shown time after time different clients, different people that you work with, their success stories. You know what I mean? And even if you have to have them also share their success stories and also pull up the money that they made in sales as well, whatever it takes for that person to believe, even if it boils down to them shadowing, you know what I mean, just kind of giving you ideas. If they don't want to believe it, say, hey, I'll tell you what, you know, you can shadow one of my clients. I can see if it's okay. You can shadow him and you can see him close $3,000 right in your face if you don't believe me. And I think like for you, Cam, when you're dealing with people like that, that might be an idea for you. You can see if they can shadow someone that you know has success in the field. So I think that that's really the real reason people don't want to invest their money and feel like it was either a waste or they got screwed over.
Yeah, and I'm with you 100%. So I like that idea, but here's what it has to come with. There has to be a give for a get. Very important lesson in sales, especially in tech sales, but also online consulting sales. We'll talk about the difference in a second. I want to make sure we get to that point. But look, I'm not legally allowed to share internal information about my sales with my company that I work at because we're about to go public. I
Okay.
can make it, but here's the thing. I can go on Gong. If you don't know what Gong is, it records all your calls. Every company that's in tech uses it. I can go in Gong and show you proof of me closing deals and blur out the names and like the faces and like do quick clips. I can probably do that and be fine. But for me to put that work in to have my editors and like script, like to have that happen, or to edit the DocuSign of a signed deal from a real company in tech from this month, 4 deals that I've closed in the last 30 days, I can do that, but there has to be a give for a get. Meaning, if you really want to see everything, and 200 cash isn't enough, like 200 cash in my hand is not enough, like that's what I have stacked. Outside of crypto, by the way, that's just like what I'm willing to pull out of the bank to fucking show you and then go right back to the bank and put it back in. Then you have to give me something too, meaning you have to put a deposit down. If you're too scared to put a deposit, then you don't understand how the world works, because here's how the world works. You're willing to put a deposit on a security deposit for a place to a landlord you don't even know. But you're not willing to swipe your credit card, realizing if I run off with your money, you can just do a chargeback with the bank and get your money back and fuck me over. So like, you clearly don't understand risk assessment if you don't understand that's how the world works. I'm not going to do extra work for you though, unless you're willing to do something for me, because that's how the world works. Simple.
And I have another question for you as well. When it comes to tech sales, right? Is this something that can be done part time? Is this like a flexible job? Is it a job where you can pick your own hours? Because there might be some people that might want to have keep their main job. They might like their main job, but this might be some additional income. So that's my another question I have for you as well. Is this something that someone can do on the side as well?
Great question. So this is a perfect time to talk about the difference between technology sales and online consulting sales. Tech sales is a full-time job. Okay? You cannot do it part-time because the companies are structured in a way where they have venture funding. Stay with me if you don't know what that means. I will explain it. It basically means the companies are being funded by bigger companies that invest in them so they can make a lot of money altogether. Facebook had venture funding. Google had venture funding. Okay? That means they have a lot of money to give you up front in stocks, in base salary, also in commission because you're in sales, and it's a very big package up front. So they're investing a lot in you in that sense, so they can't have you work part-time. Simple. With that said, are there remote opportunities in tech? Yes. Do you have to be in a certain city to work in tech? No, but it is easier if you are in certain cities. It is easier in the California area, state. It is easier in the San Francisco Bay Area in California, more specifically. It is easier in New York. It is easier in. Those are really the two big ones, to be honest. There are some jobs in Austin is another good one
I was
actually.
just gonna say Austin. I used to live in Austin. I'm about to say Austin is a big tech hub now.
Austin is great. Um, Now, if you're nervous to take a full-time jump, that's okay because there's a second option. And it also depends on what you want. Like for your brother, for example, he was very passionate about maintaining his 4 pillars of life. To him, it was like mental health, like spiritual happiness, remote freedom. He cared about that a lot. So I was like, hey, bro, I don't actually want to necessarily take you down the tech path because you care about this balance of 4 pillars, and that means you want to stay in Dallas, right? He's like, yeah, I want to stay in Dallas. Okay, look. So I'm like, hey, online consulting sales is a better path for you. Here's why. You can be remote. You can be anywhere in the world, not just the country. Big. All the jobs are like this. You can be in Bali and be a millionaire making 100 grand a year, but you're a millionaire there. Brazil, anywhere you want to be. You can travel whenever you want. Nobody gives a shit. Fully remote, no cold calling. Okay, all the leads are warm. So for example, my setter that's in my DMs, he literally DMs people that are interested in working with me and sets appointments for me to then close deals. He makes 7 grand a month. He works part time.
Hmm.
Okay.
That's
So
not bad.
you, that's my point, is that he's on his phone all day, but like, come on, bro. Like, it's what would you rather do? Be working construction at 5 a.m. or on your phone making 7 grand a month sending DMs? You're already DMing bitches anyway.
Yeah.
Like, wasting your fucking time, right? So, no cold calling, fully remote, and part time you can work, and you're on your own kind of schedule. Wake up when you want, so on and so forth. Stop when you want. You can send DMs in your bed at 10 p.m. for all I care. Doesn't matter to me. Just respond to people on time. I'll teach you the script. I'll show you how to run the conversation. You can either work for me or you can work for one of my partner companies. Once again, power of connections plus skill set. Then if you want to transition to full time, you can. You can get promoted from that setter job, my setter in my DMs, to a closer and have conversations over Zoom with people that are already interested, that have already talked to the setter. Remember, we just talked about that?
Hmm.
You can make 8, 10, 12, 15K a month. If you want to make more than that, you need to be very connected, which I am. But you need to be at that level. So if you can prove that you can make 10 to 15K a month, but hey, this company isn't big enough for me to make more, they can't pay me enough because they're not big enough, then we get you the next level job and get you to that 20, 25K, 30K a month range. My boy Prob, for example, he's hiring right now setters and closers. His setters work part-time, making 5+K a month. His top closers make 22 to 25K a month consistently. A lot of them are trained by me. He's looking for people that are trained by me to go in there and win. Okay, so we can get you there eventually. That's somebody that comes to me for salespeople, right? Because he knows my program is good. We have a connection built. And we're passing that on to you guys. So you asked if it was part-time. I gave you a long answer.
No, no, that's. I mean, this is good because you just put a lot of gems in my pocket too. Because I was curious. I'm like, man, sounds like it's full time. But there also is part time options as well. So that's good to hear.
For sure, for sure. And once again, it depends on what you want, right? If you're already in a tier one city like New York, tech sales may make sense for you because you're already there. But if you're like in like Tampa or like, I'm not saying there's not tech sales jobs in Tampa. There are. There's just less. Like even, bro, one of our, I think you know him. I'm not gonna say his name because I haven't talked to him beforehand. But he's in
Mm.
Tampa. He's in his late 30s. He is a sales manager at a tech company. He makes great money, but he is trying to build his own business. And he's like, bro, I'm stuck in the office a lot. I'm stuck in the office a lot, and it's very hard to like do both. I want to get into high ticket sales, online consulting sales, so I can work remote and build my business on the side too. And I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And now we're doing it, right? So it all depends on what you want. Yeah,
That's good. That's good stuff there, man.
for sure. I know we're coming up on time.
Yeah.
Anything else that is kind of top of mind for you, brother?
Um, I don't really think have any other questions. I think we covered a good amount of information. I do have one thing I do want to talk about. When we were talking about networking, this is my last question. What do you think is needed to be able to build a good network? So a lot of people like, well, where do I start? How do I network with someone? Is there a particular thing I need to do, or is there a particular thing I need to say? Basically, if you're starting from zero, how do you build the network? Is basically what I'm asking.
Yeah, it's a great question. So I'm gonna go back to when I started to actually prioritize networking and think about that out loud and just talk through it. Um, it all depends. First of all, you got to go to the places where the people that you want to be like or associate yourself with are. So like, if you live in Omaha, Nebraska, and the nearest coffee shop where rich people go or whatever you want to be around is 30 miles away and there's nothing closer, then going to the coffee shops in your area aren't going to help you potentially, right? I'm giving an example. When I moved to San Francisco at 22, there were a few things I did. I got a gym membership at Equinox, which is an expensive gym, because I wanted to be able to talk to not only really hot girls that had money, but guys that could give me opportunities. Side note, meeting hot women can get you in the door with a lot of rich men because now you can go to events with them and then guys have their eyes on you,
This is
right?
true.
dating, networking, career, it all goes together. And that's why when guys say, oh, well, I just want to focus on my career. And that's okay, well, fine. You know how you're going to amplify your career? Go to places with hot women.
Mm-hmm.
Guys will talk to you. Every time I step out, even now with my girlfriend, whether it was with her or with when I was single and dating somebody else, they're like, dude, you must be rich as fuck or have a huge cock. That's what people used to say to me. And that's how I would start a conversation. They would start it with me. Okay? So how do you network? You go to places where the people that you want to be are. I went to Equinox. I went to like more high-end like Blue Bottle coffee shops where other people were. But once again, going to these places isn't all you need to do. If you don't have the conversation muscle, then you need to learn those skills, right? And combine, that's why I
Mm-hmm.
say connections and skills. So how do you build connections? You still need skills too. Okay? So my whole thing was, when I used to go to the gym, I used to try to talk to somebody every day, even if it's just warming myself up to a conversation. So like, look at the front desk girl in the eyes. Hey, how's it going? Oh, your hair looks nice today. Just give myself a little boost because she feels good, I feel good, right? Then now I'm feeling warm. Now I'm working out. Hey, do you need a spot, bro? At the gym. Yeah, bro, I was scared to fucking ask. He won't say that, but like he was, right? Nobody wants to ask nobody for a spot really if they don't know him. Same thing. So you can meet people just by starting little conversations, and then you can nurture those relationships. So like that's really the best place to start. The other way is do it online, right? So people pay for graduate degrees because they care about the network that they're going to build. You can pay much less for online masterminds. I have one of those. I have probably the biggest network. I don't know, man, bro. I'm not gonna say I have the biggest network in the world. That is a silly thing to say. But like, if you want to meet somebody that's important, I can probably introduce you to somebody that's important for what you want. So
Yeah.
ask me first before you join. Like, there was a dude, bro, he's from Canada, and he was like, "Hey, Cam, I really want to get into tech sales, but I live in Canada, and a lot of companies aren't trying to hire me and sponsor me because it's like citizenship shit." And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, "Bro, I get it. Honestly, you should do high ticket sales instead because they don't care where you're from, and you will make 10K." He joined my program. We're gonna get him a job. He's gonna scale, and we work with you until you make 10K a month too, right? So how to network? You can go to the places in person, or you can do online, or you can do both. Pretty simple.
That's good. That's good information. I think when you do get a chance to meet people, is one thing is to be genuine and be honest. And anywhere you feel that you can provide value, be able to do that for the other person. Letting them know what it is that you do and how can you be able to help them. That's one thing I always say. Even you. I like to see where you're coming from and what do you need help with. And I think when you're able to show people that, it's not like, dang, he's not trying to just use me or just trying to talk to me for my gain. He also has something that he's willing to offer on the table as well.
Yeah, and dude, like at the end of the day, impact matters to me and makes me feel good. Like truly in my heart and my soul, it makes me feel good. And like that's why I've created the offer suite that I have where it's like I'm going to get you into sales and help you make six figures. I'm going to show you how to then invest that money, and I'm also going to help you build your dating and social life to the level that you want. What else do you want in life? Those are the three things men want.
And that is it, to be honest.
And I've done those things, right? And I have partners, so I'm not scattered, that are better than me at certain things. Like, for example, in high ticket sales, my boy Kashi, he is
Hmm.
20 years old making 30 grand a month in high ticket sales. He dropped out of his engineering degree too in college, just shows you. Okay? He is my partner. We run this shit together. Now let's look at crypto. Look, I don't sit behind a screen for 18 hours a day, clearly. If I did, I wouldn't be having this conversation. But I have crypto analysts that do, and that is why I'm a seven-figure crypto investor. Because they are already multiple seven-figure crypto investors, bigger than me. Why are they bigger? Even though we do the same thing, they started earlier and they had more capital to start. That's it. But I offered them value how? Why do they work with me? Bro, because they're geeks, for lack of better terms, and I gave them a dating and social life. I brought them to parties in person. I introduced them to women. I put them on,
Yeah.
right? So trading value is also there, right? Now, a lot of people come to me in my DMs, hey, do you want to trade this for this? I'm like, you really got to bring me value, bro. If anybody's watching this, you want to bring me value, I need to get on podcasts with a fucking audience or collaborate with coaches that have their own audience. Bradley, if you're watching this, I've tried to fucking get on. I talked to your closer. You already know what time it is, bro. You know I'm good. So don't sit here and act like you know. So that's where I need help right now. You asked me in the beginning before we started recording. That's where I need help. Tangent real quick, going back. Sales, invest your money, build your dating and social life. Brian Marquesano is the last guy in this puzzle. He is the best dating and social circle coach that I've ever seen. And I'm surprised he hasn't gone viral and blown up yet, because all of his clients are coming to me now to get sales jobs and invest in crypto, because he already did a great job fulfilling on the dating and social life
Hmm.
aspect. What he does that's different than me, bro, that I fucking am obsessed with, that I wish I could have done in my dating days, is he teaches you how to run Instagram ads to throw social events with people that you want to want to invite, and you basically have 20 girls you can cold approach instead of one. Keep in mind, you still need the cold approach skill. I'm not saying you don't, and you still need the conversational skill. But I have him fulfilling on this because he is so good and he is so dedicated to it, and that's his passion. And my passion, bless you, bro. You good?
Yeah, I'm good. Just had to sneeze.
All good.
Go ahead.
You put these three things together, bro. It is the complete ecosystem in one place for you to win and for you to
Damn,
be
that's
successful.
creative, man. Using ads to target certain events. That's smart.
And bro, when you host your own events too, you got to think you elevated your social status. So now you're not just a random guy approaching her. Not saying that's not cool. I do that shit in the gym when I was single. I used to do it all the time, and it works. Once again, though, if I paid for an Equinox membership, it is a little bit of situational status. At least I can afford Equinox, right? So they know that. They know I'm somebody to some extent, right? They understand that. So, guys, if you want to proceed, and women, if you are watching this, I have a lot of female followers too that are interested in crypto, that are interested in sales. The dating and social life stuff isn't as relevant to you unless you want to come make content and get a free photo shoot. We do that shit globally. For real. If you want to come be part of our content, you can. Free photo shoot. If you have a big audience, we'll pay you. Okay, no issue saying that, bro, because I'm here to provide value, right? So, um, Profit with Cam on Instagram, YouTube. Those are my main channels. And yeah, we'll talk to you guys soon. Eric, any last words?
That's it, man. Thanks for having me on, man.
Thank you as well, bro. We'll talk soon, brother. Let me stop
All right.
recording.